Welcome to this weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Greek. Today we're going to be looking at Acts 10, 1-3, a slightly longer passage, so we can get a little bit more experience with how longer sentences in the Greek New Testament work. As we'll find out, this set of 3 verses is indeed one single sentence, and it's one which is lengthened not by, say, in the Pauline fashion, adding relative clause after the main clause, but instead by delaying the verb for quite some time. So what we'll see is how Luke does this and how these long sentences in these narrative portions indeed work. But first, to read the passage. Anerdetis en Caesarea onomati Cornelios, hecatontarches experes tes calumenes italices, eusebes, kai fabumenos ton theon sun panti toi oiko autu, poion eleomosiunas polas tolao, kai deiomenos tu theu dia pantos. Eiden en horamati phaneros Jose peri horan enaten tes hemeras, angelan tu theu, eselthonta pros auton, kai eponta auto Cornelia. So as you can see, I've already divided up this sentence to have some sort of structuring of information, but what we find at the very beginning, and a certain man, anerdetis. And here, tis without the accent is the indefinite pronoun. So indefinite. If it had the accent, it would be a question word, but here it's a certain man or some man. We find out some things about this man. He's in Caesarea, and by name, this is the dative of onoma, so by name, he is Cornelius. So a certain man in Caesarea, Cornelius by name. And now we might be looking for a verb, but as we'll find as the sentence goes on, we're not given one for some time. In fact, in these lines, I break up what we are given, and it's descriptions of Cornelius. We're given a noun that he is, hecatontarches, that he is a centurion, an adjective, eusebes, he is pious, and then several, indeed 3, participles about what he does. Fabumenos, he fears God. Poion eleemosiunos, he makes acts of mercy, or he gives alms. And deiomenos tu theu, and he makes requests of God. And only then, after getting this full description of him, and we'll go back and see some parts of it, do we get the main verb, eiden, that he saw. So here, the way Luke is structuring the information is after introducing the subject and in some way setting the scene of what's going on, he gives us more information about this subject before we get to the action that he performs, this main verb, he saw, so that we can know who this character is and what is at stake, because this Cornelius is new to the narrative of Acts, and understanding things about him is important to understanding the narrative, that he is a centurion, that he is a member of the Roman army, but he also is pious, indeed a God-fearer, someone who is allegiant in some ways to the God of Israel without having become a circumcised Jew. So, to go back through the descriptions, he is hecatontarches, a centurion, a leader of 100, from the cohort, speres, the division, which is called, here we have a participle, it's present, passive, feminine, genitive, singular, modifying speres, so which is called italices, Italian. So he's from the so-called Italian cohort. He is eusebes, godly or pious, and fears God, and who feared God. So this God-fearing is often a technical term for Gentiles who have some sort of reverence towards the God of Israel. We find that it's not just him, but it's sun panti toi oiko autu, and along with all of his household. So it seems that he's influenced his family and possibly his servants and or slaves to do so as well. Then this piety and this God-fearing is expressed in action. He poion eleemosiunos. He gives alms, makes acts of mercy, and not just sometimes, but he makes many acts of mercy, gives many alms to lao, to the people. Here, definite, and almost certainly referring to the people of Israel, God's people. A God-fearer from outside of the people of Israel, a Gentile who is adherent and faithful to the God of Israel, and shows that through giving alms to the people of Israel here in Caesarea. We're also told that he makes requests of God, deiomenos tu theu, This is a middle participle from deomai. I make requests. You make requests of someone in the genitive, which is why we have tu theou here. And then we're given a prepositional phrase, dia pantos, through all, that means always, all the time, consistently or constantly making requests of God. So his piety, which we're told about, is expressed in, along with his whole family, fearing God, so being allegiant to and faithful to him, and making acts of mercy, performing alms, and making requests of God all of the time. This man, who we now know quite a lot about, we're told he saw something. And he saw in a vision. This is a dative singular from the neuter noun horama, which you can very clearly see the relationship to horao there. A horama is a thing seen, and this is the dative ending in the third declension there. And he saw something in a vision clearly about Jose Pere working together to give an imprecise time of day, about the 9th hour, horan enatein, so hour 9th, and the 9th hour of the day, to tell us that it's daytime. Then we're finally told what it is that he saw. Angelon, an angel tu theou, of God. He saw an angel of God. Then we're given 2 accusative participles, which modify the angelon that he saw. This angel of God came to him, so came to Cornelius, and said to him, and then in one of these rare occurrences, we get the vocative, he said to him, Cornelius, calling him out. And so the scene begins. So here we have a long sentence in the book of Acts with quite a bit of contextual information given before we get to the actual main verb of the sentence.